along with the words fascist and racist, words which are very irresponsibly, atrociously irresponsibly brandished around and used inappropriately. The word Nazi seems to be brandished around as well a lot, very irresponsibly and inappropriately when it's not the right word. I think people need to check out. Some people need to check out the actual definition of racist and the definition of Nazi. Do people actually know what they're saying when they say Nazi? And fascist. Do people really understand the definition of fascist? These words are brandished around so irresponsibly and directed at people who are not these things, or the majority of people who have these labels attached to them are really not racist, not fascist, and certainly not Nazis. The overwhelming majority of them, certainly not anywhere near that. The reason I mention this, there was a major protest. There were major protests in lots of British cities yesterday about uncontrolled mass and illegal migration, and also counter protests for the refugees welcome. There were these protests all over the UK, but the one I particularly looked at, being a lover of Liverpool and anything Scouse, I noticed there was a big one in the centre of Liverpool, in Lime Street, people protesting refugees welcome, and then the counter protest facing them. It was all kicking off very intense. The counter protest for people waving around Union Jacks, and expressing their frustration, their anger, and despair over uncontrolled mass and illegal migration and immigration. And it was all getting very heated. And on the refugees' welcome side, there were certain people, not all, but certain people on the refugees' welcome and similar people on that spectrum of opinion, shouting out Nazi scum to the mainly Liverpudlians on the other side, the counter protests that were waving Union Jacks and expressing their concerns about government policy and how the government is handling mass uncontrolled, certainly mass, that's for sure. It's huge swathes of people out of control, mass migration and immigration, a lot of which is illegal. And I'm thinking, okay, it wasn't all of them saying Nazi scum, but the overwhelming majority of those people that were ordinary people expressing worries and concerns and anger over the migration and immigration situation in this country, which is now largely chaotic. Why would they have this term Nazi scum directed at them? They're just ordinary people that need to be listened to. Most people agree that there are huge issues that need addressing at the moment with this situation. Why would they be using the term Nazi towards these for the most part, ordinary people? The same as people get called racist and fascist. People, we need to check out and define, clarify the definition of racist and fascist before we start attaching these labels to people. And also, as I said, Nazi. What's going on? Have we got so tribal? And and the standard of debate in this country, and has it got so low that people are shouting out Nazi scum at largely, everyday people that have got worries and concerns? What's going on? Why are people using the term Nazi so outrageously, inappropriately? We need to look up what Nazi actually means. And to call these people scum as well, I mean, I know that certain people on the right, or the so-called far right, if you want to use that term, I know they use terms like woke and lefty and things like that, but woke, liberal, lefty, and, okay, they can be very insulting and very badly behaved sometimes, but to call people Nazi scum, ordinary people, a crowd of I suppose, mainly working class, ordinary people in Liverpool, Nazi scum. Well, that's just on another level. That's atrocious behavior. Can we just clarify what racist, fascist, and Nazi actually mean before we start throwing these words at people and brandishing these words around? Um, can we just take a chill pill and listen to each other a bit more and have a bit of class about things? We really need to learn how to debate properly, and we need to look at what we're saying. I mean, Nazi scum. I couldn't believe that. You know, people saying refugees welcome. So one would think they were, let's say, benevolent, charitable, compassionate people. Wouldn't you, if they're saying refugees welcome? I mean, for me, yes, a quota, a strict quota, a certain number, um, a restricted number per year. You have to have a sensible immigration policy because things are out of control. I think a lot of people agree on that. So, yeah, refugees welcome a certain number, a certain quota with sensible limits and criteria. Yes, but so my point, if people are saying refugees welcome, you would assume they were humane, compassionate people. So why are they calling other ordinary citizens on the street Nazi scum? I mean, what's going on?